Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and there is just something that is just completely out of hand in Hearthstone. It just keeps happening, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It's frustrating. It's the problem of, well, it's been, I feel like, for almost 2 years of neutrals dominating Hearthstone, making everything feel the exact same, and also just what it kind of presents for the game. We'll talk about it similar to, you know, the Brian Kibler stuff we've already talked about, but I wanted to give my meta dive after, you know, we do it after week after the patch. So that is what we're doing today. You enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below, give the video a like as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So yeah, it's been just about a week since the latest balance patch, where if you look at win rates across all ranks, which again, the worst indicator ever, but we use it to start things off, it looks okay. Top to bottom, separated by less than 10%, 5 classes in the green, whatever. If you take a look at Wild, by the way, play Paladin. It's really good. Basically like Librams or Holy Wrath, and then you have like Shadow Priest, but yeah, Wild's a whole different thing. By the way, the Demon Seed's still playable. Like, my God. Anyways, we're gonna focus on Standard today and talk about something that I noticed that it's just, it keeps happening. So we take a look since the latest balance patch, and we're gonna look at Legend. We'll look at Legend and sort by in percentage of decks. And this is where you're gonna start noticing why you're really annoyed by certain cards all the time. If you look at the percentage of decks, this is outrageous. Zilliax has been nerfed 5 times. And again, I know it's a bunch of cards in one, but it's been nerfed 5 times, still in about 50% of decks. The Ceaseless Expanse, the big 100 mana board clear that any deck can run, is nearing 50% at 46.7. We have Ethereal Oracle, which Brian Kibler said obviously should have get nerfed. I also said that. I put it in my thumbnail. I put it in that thumbnail. I put my prediction on the line, although I actually knew at that time it wasn't going to get nerfed, but I make those predictions based on what I think will happen, not on what I know will happen. So I put it in there, even though I knew it was going to screw my prediction. And yes, Miracle Salesman, 35.8%. But even after that, we got like ETC, 32%. Bob is going up and up. It's already in over a quarter of decks. Gorgon Zormu, 30% of decks. So basically what that means is when you queue ladder, about like 1 in 3 games, you are facing a deck that runs most likely 2 of these cards, 3 of these cards, maybe 4 of these cards. And they all kind of do the same thing in terms of create a certain play pattern, right? Zilliax can give this big heal swing or just help snowball the game. We have Ceaseless, which gives literally every class a board clear, or with Fizzle, infinite, and that is a thing in multiple classes right now. Ethereal Oracle, which lets every class tutor specific spells, kill your opponent from in hand, or just, well, I'll just put it this way. Ethereal Oracle is so silly right now that Supernova for Mage is playable because you tutor it with Oracle and then you can play it and do some stuff. Well, I'll try to get a gameplay video on that deck, by the way. It's not like super competitive, but it's viable. And yeah, Ethereal Oracle, again, a big part of that. And Salesman is a 1 mana 2/2, which is already good. We've seen that stat line be competitive, but it also gives you a trade a card, or you could spend that card to draw with Ethereal Oracle. So again, it's like 4 cards that are like almost feels like every deck. And when you're facing them constantly, it kind of defines the meta. And I did tweet out, and I want to highlight a comment that I thought was really good. Not my comment, because my comments are terrible, but I did say, like, Hearthstone sure does feel very samey when 4 neutrals are in over 35% of decks. And I thought this comment was quite good. Neutrals should fill gaps, not characterize the meta. And they really are. And if you take a look at the meta itself, using HS Guru, you see a lot of that. And I will note, Handbuff Paladin, as much as people complained, like if they would nerf stuff, it would just be everyone playing Handbuff Paladin. they don't play like any of the cards other than like Gorgon Zormu, which is not in that 35%. They don't play Ceaseless. No, they play Ziliax, so there's at least one in there. But yeah, you see a ton of decks that use that. Diamond through Legend, it's like way too large. I'll just show as an example, top 1000 Legend. It's a very narrow thing, but look at what's going on there. Cycle Rogue, which got Sonya nerfed, and I laugh at the Rogue people that said that Sonya would kill Rogue. They have Prep, they have Shadow Step. That will always carry Rogue. It's always carried Rogue throughout its entire history. It's why it's the best class in Hearthstone history, but Ethereal Oracle obviously lets them just step, draw through their deck, get giants. Lanessa Paladin obviously also uses Ethereal Oracle to rip through their deck, get their combo pieces. Zarimi Priest uses it as well. Shafar Rogue, again, all these decks that use minions to cycle, although I don't think they use Ethereal, although I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong. Starship Hunter, not really, but they use Ceaseless. They use, like, again, every one of these decks uses that. And one really contentious one, of course, Asteroid Shaman, which people really are starting to hate because it's just another deck that kills you without really interacting with your board. I love the people that try and argue, well, if you play a bunch of minions on board, you soak up the asteroids, but Incendius is there, and it's just as much a thing, and it just wipes your board. It never really helps. Like, after like turns, what, 6, 7, 8, doesn't matter what kind of board you have, it's gonna get wiped, you're gonna get nuked, and it's really a frustrating experience when Ethereal Oracle rips through all that. Rainbow DK, one of the only decks that doesn't run Ethereal, but it runs all the other offenders. It's like infinite clearing and healing and all that, but obviously that's one more decks I like, but again, it's guilty of the same thing. It still feels samey, even without Ethereal. Nature Shaman, why is that back? I loathe that deck almost as much as anything else in the game, but you know why it's back? Ethereal Oracle, fueling that. It's brought Nature Shaman back from the dead. That's, you know, when a card's gonna really upset me, if it brings Nature Shaman back. So you can see the high legend meta, where unfortunately I'm stuck, really dictated by neutrals, almost entirely neutrals that really fuel everything, when typically it's not supposed to be about that. I'll just take you back in the day when a neutral was too good, too common. It's like in 30-40% of decks. An Azure Drake, right? They would Hall of Fame the card. They'd get rid of it from standard because it was in too many decks, and now they're printing cards that make, I mean, Ethereal Oracle to Azure Drake. Like, what else do I need to say? They're making cards that are more powerful and impactful in neutrals, and it's just weird, right? It's the whole class identity thing we talked about, where now we have Hunter because of neutrals in particular, although they do have the whole Draenei thing that gives you infinite draw and value, but still really fueled, becoming this control class with infinite clears and healing with Grifta, and it just doesn't make sense. It's really weird, and I don't know what else to say. Like, I feel like this is a really negative direction for the game when you have neutral cards constantly defining everything, and rotation is coming up. We're not losing Oracle, not losing Expanse, we're not losing Ziliax, only Salesman, I believe, and ETC will be rotating. The rest, Gorgon Zormu, Bob the Bartender, Grifta, Mixologist, Incendius, all these cards in like over 20% of decks are not rotating. And it just seems to be a weird trend that I feel like leads to a lot of these problems that, yeah, the class weaknesses aren't there, and it lets them just ignore the packages they get throughout the whole set. Why play your class package when the neutrals just do everything better? It's a really weird situation, and I do think that it needs to be dialed down significantly. But again, they didn't even nerf Ethereal last patch, which is just mind-boggling that happened. And yeah, it's gonna be dictating everything until either they do a balanced patch or the mini set comes out, and I just don't see Ethereal really taking a seat to that. I see it just going into whatever's coming. So yeah, this is kind of our last little meta dive before the holiday break. I'm going to start our like year-end recap tomorrow, but I thought I'd put it out there that, yeah, the patch, I guess, has made things more balanced, but it's all around the same crap, and it really isn't that fun. It's just not that fun, at least to me, when, yeah, you're just facing neutral card after neutral card after neutral card that's the exact same, the game's the same, and they all kind of promote, don't ever fight for board. Get the hell off the board. You're going to get Oracled, you're going to get Ceaseless Ziliaxed. get off the board, make way for damage, and that's kind of lame, I'm gonna say, at least for me. So again, let me know what you think about this on the comments down below. Year-end recap should start tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Oh, and we'll try and get some Supernova gameplay too. Anyways, have a great day and stay salty, my friends.